them to be a part of what the mosque is doing is our gratitude. But it's also to your benefit. It's an asset. It's a gain for yourself to be a part of this mission. And as we see a world that's disintegrating, you will come to know more and more that being at the mosque is more important than being involved in what the Honorable Minister Louis Farrakhan is doing. Is more important than anything else. Because, you know, it's not until difficulty that you really realize that other things that you thought was important start paling into insignificance when you run into a real drama. For example, if you find out that you got a real health problem, then other things that you thought was big, I don't have the pots and pans that I want. I don't have all the silverware I want at the house. You find out you got a health problem, now the silverware don't matter. Now the pots and pans don't matter. See, the seriousness of the moment matters. See, and that's how life is. We're living in a time when the world is going down. We think that we've got other concerns, but you will soon come to know. In a few short days, you'll come to know that ain't nothing more important than getting focused with God. All the rest of that stuff that you think is important, I got to get the car, I got to get the house, I got to get the clothes, there's a special sale going on, I got to make it down there, you've got $5 worth of gas and it takes $6 to get down to the sale. But you're on your way. Because you think it's that important. Well, think if we put the same kind of significance on Allah in our life, seeing our duty and our obligation to God in a world that God is destroying. See, in a moment it's going to get so serious that you only have no other time to think about it. Right. But God, you don't want to wait till that moment when your words become, oh my Lord. Because when you get to that moment, it's too serious. So you need to get serious now. Serious at the moment that we're in. So brothers and sisters, I want to get right into the topic because it's going to take quite a while to get into it. And again, this is one of these subject matters that may bore you to death. So I hope you brought pillows with you because we're going to read some scripture, and you know how scripture can get you. Wake them up. Scripture can put you to sleep sometime, but it's value in it. So I want you to, if you have a Bible or Holy Quran, feel free to take it out. But if you don't, a pencil and a pad and write down the scriptures. And it's important because you don't know whether the preacher in front of you is telling the truth or not if you're not willing to investigate it. How do you know what is good and how beneficial it will be if you're not willing to further research and study? And I often say too many times in mosques, masjids, churches, too many times it's too much dependence upon the preacher and too little work done with the parishioners, the congregation. The followers, the believers feel as if I don't have a duty. But the only way you grow is that you grow in knowledge. And your growth in knowledge is pursuing what you hear. It ain't just saying, oh, the minister preached a good preaching. But did you check it out? Did you investigate? And is there more to it? You can't get it all in an hour, 45 minutes, an hour and a half. You can't get it all in an hour with an infinite God that is unlimited. So you've got to be willing to get involved on your own to see that you can grow and mature as a result of information. So the topic today is, how are you using your talents? Whatever your talent is, whatever your gift is, the question is, how are you using it? And we're going to try to do this. We're going to try to go through it, but it's going to be something to think about. How are you using your talents, your gifts? Why do I ask? Because to all, Allah, God, gives gifts. There's nobody that doesn't have a gift. There's nobody that doesn't have gifts with an S, a plural gift. Everybody that lives, God gives a gift. The reason why you know it or don't know about it is because of how you are using your gift. What are you doing with what God has given to you? What are you doing with your gift? How are you using your gift? And that determines how familiar you will become with your gift, because how you use it determines what God will do for you. Now, today I don't normally start off like this, but I'm starting off with a lot of scripture, a lot of verses. And I know it's going to be trying on you, but it's important that I get all these verses out to you, because they're making a point. Jesus in the Bible is having a conversation with his followers. And he's telling them about the kingdom of heaven. And he's giving them a parable about a man on a journey. And the man on the journey stops to give some talents to people on the way. But the parable in the journey is all about a road to the kingdom, a road to heaven. Now listen to what this scripture says. This is in Matthew, St. Matthew, 25th chapter. A lot of verses. 14 through verses 30. So it's a lot. But I want you to think about this, because these verses tell us something about how God works, how he does what he does. So in Matthew, let's start. Again, if you don't have it, write it down, 25th chapter, 14th verse, all the way to the 30th. It says, and I quote, this is Jesus talking. It says, "For the kingdom of heaven is as a man," now listen to this is a parable now. He says, "The kingdom of heaven is as a man traveling into a foreign country, who called his own servants and delivered unto them his goods." Now let's stop there. I want you to get the picture of what Jesus is showing us. He's giving us a parable. He's talking about how to get to the kingdom of heaven. He says a man is traveling to a faraway country, and this man is calling his servants, and he's delivering to them his goods. Now listen to the story that goes on from the time here, because here reads the scenario. He says, "Unto one he gave 5 talents, to another 2, and to another 1, and to every man according to his several ability. The straightway took his journey. Then he that had received the 5 talents went and traded with the same, and made them other 5 talents. And likewise he that received 2, he also gained other 2. But he that received 1 went and dug in the earth and hid his Lord's money. And after a long time the Lord of those servants cometh and reckoned with them. And so